Hello, we have more new announcements from the government. Today, I did a small aside, not so small aside. Here's where I'm going with this. Today, I did a webinar for a company called Alpha Woman Co. They produce media and articles and that kind of thing for women in business. That's alphawomanco.com, and they invited me to do a webinar today on cash management and what you can do right now to ensure that you're able to pay your bills and just really lessen your anxiety around all things cash. And a big piece of that was the new subsidies, a lot of which I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. But I wanted to do just a quick recap today of what we know of all the things, because there's been a lot of them. But first, I'll start with the new stuff. So today, Trudeau announced that there is a change to the Canada Emergency Business Account, which is that $40,000 interest-free loan that the government has created for small business owners. So in order to qualify for that, it used to be that you needed payroll in 2019 of between $50,000 and $1 million. And now it's between $20,000 and $1.5 million for 2019. So you still need payroll in last year, but the upper and lower bounds have been shifted. So that will encompass a lot more small business owners, especially on the smaller end, going from 50,000 to 20,000. That's a big deal. So super excited about that, because it really is the smaller business owners that need that help and that interest-free money. The other thing that he announced today was that there will be emergency commercial rent assistance coming for businesses, which I am super excited about, because that's the number one thing that businesses are struggling with right now. And there's no help for them. There's, help on the personal side with the CURB benefit, but there's really no help on the other side, on the business side. So that's coming. The tricky bit is the federal government announced it, but it's actually a provincial thing. Like, it's held under the provincial powers, because all things rent and the rent relationship and that kind of thing is provincial. So the federal government is going to have to work with the provincial governments to get everything worked out. And each province might look a little different depending on how it gets administered. But that's going to be really, really good for business owners who need help paying their rent right now. Okay, so that's the new stuff. What have we got so far? So on the business side, we have those wage subsidies, the 75% and the 10%. Those can be claimed together, but you can't have both. So you can either take the 10%, where you reduce your wage, source deductions by 10% of your gross wages, or you can take so if you do that, then the amount that you receive from the 75% is reduced by the amount that you deducted. The 75% wage subsidy is up to $847 a week per employee, and it's only valid for the March 15th to June 6th paychecks that go out, and any amounts that you have to average the amount that you're paying an employee per week from January 1st to March 15th to know how much you can actually claim for that. That's coming really soon. You can apply for that in hopefully 2 or 3 weeks, and then the payments will get deposited into your business bank account. So that's good. I already talked about the Canada Emergency Business Account, that $40,000 free loan. If you qualify for it, go to your institution's website and apply for it there. It's been super easy with the clients that I've supported in applying before now. And just make sure to really read your contract, because there's very specific rules as to what you can spend that money on. And every bank has its own specific rules, because they're administrating it a little bit differently. So just be careful about what you can spend money on. The interest rates in general have gone down. So as a small business owner, it's right now, if you need a loan, you don't qualify for that free $40,000, then try and go and get a loan from your bank anyways, because they relaxed what you need, like the requirements to be able to get a loan, and interest rates are low. Credit cards are also, they have been impacted as well. You can call your bank and get your credit card interest cut in half. That's right. You have to call them. You have to be proactive about this. They're not going to call you and be like, hey, by the way, we'll charge you less interest if you want. You got to call them, but they shouldn't have a problem with that. Payments on various loans can sometimes be deferred. Be careful with this one, because in a lot of cases they're capitalizing the interest that you're not paying. So it's not that they've stopped charging you interest, you just don't have to pay it, and it's getting capitalized, which means you're paying interest on interest, which on the individual side, if you're talking about a mortgage, that's a big amount that you're being charged interest on, which means that it could add a significant amount to your mortgage. So just be careful about that. I also heard about a woman who their banker said, yeah, we can do that, but it's going to freeze your line of credit, which means you no longer have access to that. So lots of strings attached to this 6-month mortgage deferral, so be really careful about that. On the individual side, in terms of benefits and that kind of thing, the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, also known as CERB, is available. People have been applying. That's not news. But it was news yesterday. They announced that you can make up to $1,000 in the It's up to $1,000 in 14 consecutive days from March 15th to April 11th, and then $1,000 over the next periods. So April 12th to May 9th, for example, that 4-week period, you can only make up to $1,000 to apply for CERB. But that's really great because it covered a lot of people that fell through the cracks on the first one when you could make zero money whatsoever. If you're a seasonal worker, you can also apply now, which means before you had to have a job that you had quit to, or not quit, but had been impacted by COVID in order to apply. But now, if you're on EI and you're running out because normally you go back to work in the summer, you can apply for CERB now as well. So excellent news on that front. Some of the other ones you don't have to apply for, Canada Child Benefits going up. The GST payment, also the credit, is going up. Those just automatically get applied for when you file your taxes. So make sure to file your taxes right away so that you don't have an interruption in your benefits. The tax filing deadline has been extended to June 1st, but like I said, make sure that you get your taxes filed as soon as you can so that you don't have an interruption in those GST benefits and the Canada Child benefit as well. The payment on those taxes, if you happen to owe, is August 31st now, so that's a win. If you owe money, you don't have to pay till August 31st, and that's the same on the corporate side. All corporate income tax payments have been pushed to August 31st as well. That's only for money that becomes owing from March 15th to September 30th. So not September 30th. Anyways, if you owed money before March 15th, that's not included in this. So still, if you owe back taxes or whatever, make sure to try and get those paid. I know that's not, like, now is not a great time to be doing that, but so you know. And GST payments have also been deferred to May 31st. So all in all, lots of new stuff changing every day, but that was a really quick rundown on everything that we know so far and the changes that happened this morning. So if you have any questions for me about this, leave them in the comments for me. If you want to have a chat about how all of this applies to you and your business, then book a free 30 minutes with me. I have left the link in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow.